Good morning. All right. We're here this morning to hear your comments and concerns regarding the closure of Hardin Hills Health Center. We are here only to hear your concerns. This isn't going to be a question and answer period. We had that last week with the residents and their caregivers, but we do want to hear your concerns. So we are going to let each of you speak that have signed in and wish to speak. We have the sign in on the corner of the desk here. If someone has not yet signed in and they wish to speak, we invite you to come up and sign the sheet. As time permits, each person will be given 3 minutes to speak, and it will be in the order of the sign-up sheet. Hearing will end promptly at 11:30. No profanity or vulgar language will be permitted. No outbursts from the audience will be tolerated. And please refrain your conversations while someone is speaking. Please have the courtesy that when someone has the floor, that everyone is able to hear what they have to say. So, with those ground rules, there's a gentleman here from the State of Ohio Ombudsman Program. Would he identify himself? There he is. He's in the back of the room in a black sweater vest. He will be here, and I'm going to invite him. Oh, there's two of you. Okay. I'm going to invite them to stay after the hearing, and if any of you have questions or concerns you'd like to address directly to them, you can do so at that time. That work? Very good. Thank you. So with that, we will start the process, and our first speaker will be Mary Murphy. Right here.
I have a hard time at this. I'm Mary Murphy. I was employed by Hardin Hills for shy of 30 years. I had to resign my post due to some health issues last year. Hardin Hills is a nursing home. Home in particular. This is these residents' home. Some of them have been there for lots and lots of years. If they are moved to another health facility, not knowing anyone, a lot of them may not be able to have their family members being able to visit them due to be taking them out of town. We have excellent care at Hardin Hills Health Center. I am proud of Hardin Hills. They are people. They are not numbers, and we need to respect them as such. And I think you commissioners should be made to go to Hardin Hills and see them crying, fears in their faces, not knowing some of them where they're going to go. I had one resident state to me, she's a very elderly lady in her 90s, that she always thought that she would spend her last days at Hardin Hills, and now she does not even know where she's even going to go. The community was not involved in this. There was no meetings, no anything held as far as the community being, I think it was poorly set up for the staff being told at the last minute, family members being notified at the last minute, and then a meeting after that. Several years ago, as I said, I've been there for quite a long time, and I know that there was land purchased by the county, and we were all informed, residents and staff, that there was going to be a new facility built right across the road, and there's a rural electric company now there, no Hardin Hills. I was informed also that you have turned down 25 plus admissions in the recent time. That's a lot of residents, a lot of money. Dr. Singh has stated that he would garnish his wages for the next 10 years. That has to amount to some amount of money also, because he believes in Hardin Hills and wants to see it stay. It's a very strong building. It may be old, but if you folks would have kept it up throughout the years, we may not be standing here today. It's a very strong building. If there was ever a severe storm, a tornado, any such thing, that would be the place I would want to be. I feel extremely bad for the staff also, the residents and families being the top priority, but for the staff also. They were only given 90 days to place these residents. Also, I believe that you folks had your minds made up long before signing to close Hardin Hills.
Mary, thank you.
Thank you. I pray for everything.
Next speaker, is it Christina Muldoon? Is that correct?
Good morning. My name is Tina Muldoon, and my mother, Anita Cole, was a resident of Hardin Hills, was. As Gandhi once said, the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. I am here to fight for the livelihood of my mom because she can't fight for herself. And the commissioners here have not taken any responsible action to fight for the people that you were supposed to represent in their best interests, and failed to look for any reasonable solution to minimize the impact on the most vulnerable people in your community. Give us 6 months to find a solution. I will volunteer my time. I will help you find grant money. We can find a solution. I'm sure there were other people that would also get involved. Maybe we can put it up for a levy. There are other things we can do other than closing this facility. That should be the last resort. We haven't explored what is out there. I know this is a difficult predicament for all of you, and I surely understand your role as a fiduciary, but please appreciate a little effort and time. If we can do that, there is a solution if we do that. Wouldn't the community be better served if we took this time, this pause, 6 months, to try to find a more reasonable solution? Hardin Hills, and through Medicare, is a 4-star facility, and it should be a source of pride for all of you. Let's come together to maintain this successful and needed entity in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Chris Richards.
Hello, my name is Chris Richards. I have some questions I was going to ask, but I'm changing it up based on your comments here at the opening argument. I'm not expecting you guys to respond, but I want to get my questions on the record. Can you hear me?
In the back.
I'm sorry. I'd like to start off, and I realize you guys aren't going to answer these questions, but I'd like to get them on the record. And Roger, I'm going to just comment on your opening. You said there was public feedback at the home last week. I don't necessarily know if that qualifies as public feedback. That's customer feedback, not public feedback. So my questions are, that I'd like to know, and I'm not sure if there's a representative of the County Times here. When have you guys had public feedback on this subject matter? You do searches online. I don't see conversations. I don't see meetings. You look up your guys' meetings. It appears that there was some held in, I guess you'd call it closed session. But has this been discussed in your guys' meetings in a public forum before? It just seems odd that I can't go anywhere in town that people aren't asking the question about, hey, what's going on? When was this decision made? And I think as public representatives, the onus falls on you to communicate and get feedback. Okay? And I'm questioning if that's happened. So bear with me just a minute here. But I think the public deserves to know when this decision was made, not when it was discussed at the home. When was it made? How many public hearings has there been on this subject matter? How many articles or conversations have been on the radio about this subject matter? It's okay. Have you guys, I mean, has this been discussed with outside counsel? Have you guys had advice from outside counsel? I'm glad that someone from the state of Ohio is here to represent the patients. Just seems like the process here is wrong. You guys have already made the decision, I've been told. The decision is not reversible. So if we have another public service that you guys elect behind closed doors that you want to change, how do we as the voting public keep that from happening without there being due debate? And I'm seriously questioning, was there due debate on this subject matter before decisions made? I think Hardin County levies a lot that gets public support here. To the best of my knowledge, I think we're one of the few counties that actually has a levy for the sheriff department. I'm not sure how many has standalone levies for that. We support a lot here if we're given information to support.
Chris?
Your judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure the first name, Cervante, last name? Yes, please.
Yes, good morning. I'm Marcel Cervantes. I'm Estella Gonzalez's sister. I just want to thank the staff that they've been really good for my brother. And we just found out 2 days ago, the guardian didn't tell us anything, and I just want to say, you know, we would want him to be in Finley if that was possible, to find a place there. But I just want to, again, appreciate the staff, everything they've done for my brother. You know, he's happy, and I just want to thank him, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Ashcroft?
I'm going to kind of change up my stuff too. I've done as much investigating that I can find out things, but I'm here to represent my mother, Mary Jean Ashton. 98 years old. She's a gluten patient. She's got the Alzheimer's going on, and there's very few facilities in this area, and I mean 50, 60 mile area that has Alzheimer specific areas that they can be in. And I just wish that, I know my mom would love to live, she was born here, she lived 90 years of her life here, and she'd like to die here. And I don't like the options of the other two facilities, so we're choosing to go out of county with mom if necessary, but if not, I will definitely keep her at Hardin Hills. She's had wonderful care there, and we moved her in February. The first week she wanted to go home all the time. After that, her home is County Hills, and Hardin County Hills, and she loves it out there. She's gained weight out there, the best food in Hardin County, but you know, there's things that are left unsaid here. I know that. I worked 32 years in city schools as treasurer, and there's just not a comfortable feel here. And we do pass a lot of levies for sheriff's departments, the schools, and a number of things. So this community is giving, for sure. And I just wish that you would dig on this. I love the lady's response. Give us 6 more months to figure this thing out, and we'll do it. And I know my mom's going to be at Hardin Hills for 6 more months. So I appreciate that. we kind of questioned, one of the big questions was, where did the COVID money go? Nobody seems to know where that was placed, where that went to general fund or whatever, and I don't even know the sum of money there, but that could be easily found, I'm sure. So I just wish you, as commissioners, would listen to what these people are saying. It's not that we're against you. We love Hardin Hills, but we just need time to try to work this thing through. And I would appreciate you stopping the 90-day closure, and then we'll go from there. And I know there's a lot of people in this community that's going to work hard to try to figure out what to do. I think.
Bill Jones?
My name is Bill Jones, and I worked at Hardin Hills for 22 years in maintenance, so I know this building in and out. And I know for a fact that it could be repaired to the standards that you might think it has to be. I have a sister that's out there as a resident. My wife works out there as a nurse aide, so I know that building quite well. As far as the timeline of all of this, I do not understand at all. There was no meeting set up with the public. There was never anything in the papers about anything. I've gone through the minutes of a lot of things that I see, and I wonder as to why. In January of 23, the fire pump was discussed. And then in February of 23, it was going into phase 2 of the fire pump. Well, what happened in phase 1? All of this stuff can be repaired. They've repaired the generator over the last 6 months. There's been a new roof put on there at over $200,000. New windows, and then what are you going to do with the building after it does close? A lot of talk out there in the community, but we don't know. It seems like every time that you go into an executive session, other than for wages and maybe disciplinary action, why are you doing it? Are you trying to cover things up? I'll tell you, I'm really ashamed of you three guys. I know you guys. And I just think you've made the wrong decision. I don't think you've really thought about it. Too much has happened over the last year that we do not understand. Thank you.
Number 7, Tom. I can't read the last name. Begins with a D. Is that
I was
Tom
number
Dill?
10, I thought.
What's
I
that?
thought I was number 10. Is it Tom Dills?
Well, we had to renumber because
Okay.
some people signed up and didn't want to. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Tom Dills. I'm a lifelong resident of this county. Except for a few years I lived in a state of Texas, which in the state of Ohio and the state of Texas, I carry master's plumber's license. I've dealt with building codes my entire life, my whole career, and I find it kind of, I observe it's kind of weird that you would shut down a whole business for a fire pump. Because it can be repaired, it can be replaced. And I saw online where they said, well, the whole building would have to be brought up to code. Well, I've dealt with codes my entire life. And the only code I can see that covers this is the NFPA 15.4, which says if you repair or replace a fire pump or any of its internal components, the only thing necessary is it has to test afterwards to meet or exceed the original shape of the pump. Now, I've heard it's supposed to cost $500,000 to repair or replace a pump. I've been in construction my whole life. That's ludicrous. It's a way outrageous figure. And did anybody advertise for bids? There's a lot of companies in this state that do fire protection. Armor is just one of them. I know the Armor boys. I've worked with them many times. And it's just like a car salesman. You come in, well, your car's old, we're gonna have to get you a new car. Well, of course, they're gonna sell the Cadillac. This can, anything can be repaired and replaced. And if you advertise for bids, it's possible you could get it done for a lot less money than what you state. And the last project I retired on was a $9 million mechanical project, so I know money. I know what you're talking about. It could be done cheaper. That's my opinion, and it seems like everything went way too quick here. We're trying to figure out what the ulterior motive is. Is that property been sold under the table that we don't know about? What's going on? It's too quick. Way too quick. No, that's what I got to say. Thank you.
Next is Vaughn. Okay. You decline? All right. Allison Carl?
To answer your question, Mr. Dill, it's on 5/16/23. Mr. Crow is absent, and the bid was $260,000. Well, $140,000 for a fire pump. Look on 5/16/23, and in the minutes, and you will find it.
Okay, I did not find it.
Okay, I got it. Okay, according to the meeting minutes, the commissioners have had 10 executive sessions with Sharon Houston so far this year, and it's only April. That's 10 executive sessions in 4 months. Last year, there were only 7 executive sessions with Sharon for the whole year. 2 were in the first half, and they dealt with employment and wage issues. The other 5, miraculously, Chris Richards, began October 5th. That's when this started, leading right up to now. So for 7 consecutive months, starting in October, there were 15 executive sessions with Sharon Houston. 13 G2s. Do you know what a G2 is? It is to consider the purchase of property, for the sale of property, or the sale of or other disposition of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit for use property. What else? Let's see. Recent financials taken from the commissioner's minutes. Ending balance $1,473,000 on January 23rd, 24. 2/22/24, profit of $40,000. 3/21/24, a loss of approximately $40,000. That leaves Hardin Hills with $1,472,205 as of 3/21/14. Firewatch is going to eat some of that up. Where's the rest of it? Where? I'm done. I'm done.
Deputy Extra? And Christina, Amy Zoller.
Is that better? Can you guys hear me? So my name's Amy Zoller. I live in Delaware County. I'm born and raised Delaware County. It's where I currently live. I have no affiliation with Hardin County, other than I've had a loved one at Hardin Hills. She's been there since January. Upon arrival, she is mentally ill. She was catatonic. What that basically means is someone that's not really responding to much of anything. Barely eating, not getting out of bed. As of Thursday, she was back to being her Spitfire self. She'd gained weight. She would walk to her wheelchair. I attended the family meeting last week. Seeing the raw emotion by both the residents and the staff and the families absolutely broke my heart for everybody involved. I myself am a 30-year registered nurse. I'm passionate about helping Hardin Hills, saving Hardin Hills. I have never in my career, I've been an emergency department nurse my entire career, I have never seen the level of care that I have seen at Hardin Hills. I see residents come into the emergency department from many other facilities. They look and act nothing like the residents of Hardin Hills. The love is evident. It's personal, genuine care. This is lacking in nursing homes, most nursing homes, and it's lacking in our hospitals. Anybody that's been in a hospital recently, we don't have the personal loving care. Especially to those that are vulnerable and disadvantaged, such as our mentally ill and our developmentally disabled. Not to mention Hardin Hills is the only dementia unit in the county. That's huge. It's the only dementia unit in the county. We're all going to face dementia someday, probably, if we're lucky enough to get that old. It's rated a 4 by Medicare. What does that mean? That's defined, 5's the top. This is defined by health inspection, staffing, quality, fire inspection, which the last fire inspection was done June 29th, 23, by Medicare standards. Emergency preparedness, fines, penalties. My loved one on Thursday was moved to a facility that's rated a 2. Now mind you, this is a facility that was built in 2015. It's in an affluent area of Dublin. It has an ice cream parlor, it has a movie theater, it has a pub. She has been told since then that they don't have time for her S, ends with a T, you can kind of guess what that word is, when she wouldn't take her medicine. She's been told to feed herself. Her anxiety is back and out of control. Soon she will be catatonic again. It's the writing's on the wall. The goal here is to bring back Hardin Hills, to keep Hardin Hills at where it is. We want to bring her back to Hardin Hills. That is the goal. It's an hour and a half drive. An hour for me and an hour and a half for the rest of the family. It's okay. That's not what's important. What's important is that she thrived there. And my question is, again, you don't have to answer it, it's more of a rhetorical just point. Did any of you guys walk through Hardin Hills? Did any of you talk to the residents? Did any of you talk to the employees? Had you, it would be evident, the personal care. They know one another.
And Temple?
Everybody, I'm kind of loud as it is in life, I apologize. Good morning, Commissioners, afternoon. My name is Ann Temple. I am not here by any means to disrespect you or your jobs and roles of what you do and hard decisions you have to make. I do not work at Hardin Hills. I do not have a family member at Hardin Hills. However, I am a registered nurse in this community, and I can tell you that that sort of facility is very necessary, as I have dealt with many community members that need those services. I am heartbroken over this for these residents and for these amazing staff who have provided such care over the years. For these community members that we as a community are supposed to take care of and look after. This isn't just someone that you give an eviction notice to and they find someplace the next day. I don't think this decision was easy on any of you. I am just here to try to understand. When the news broke, it was said by one of the commissioners that he was in his 8th year, and the discussion of Hardin Hills and the facility specifically had been an ongoing discussion. This says to me that this problem has been ongoing. And did any of us really know how bad it really was that it was going to get to this point? I personally didn't. Maybe I'm naive. I don't know. I would just like this decision to be reconsidered. And I would also like some transparency, because nothing is making sense when it comes to this. Money, financials, executive sessions repeatedly. It can be a little concerning. And I think all of you can sit there and understand why we're all struggling with this. But finally, I just want to give a big thank you again all of you staff members, please tell all of them. And families who are going to have to take members farther away, and for the members who are going to be so confused. And I'm hoping as a community we can all come together and find a way to, I don't know, put some kind of plan together that we can keep this going or try or give us a chance. Thank you.
Okay. Robert White?
Well, I've been a politician myself, and I hate to be in you guys' shoes today. But I want to tell people here a little bit about some things that's transpired, and I don't know why. I served as vice president of this BKP ambulance board, and we've been, for a couple of years now, going out and doing IVs, which is not legal. Rest home's supposed to be able to do it 24 hours a day, and they haven't been able to. I don't know what the situation is now, but the president and I went to the commissioners and said they were not paying for our services. And I said, guys, you better get a checkbook out. If you don't write for our service to do those IVs, I'm going to Columbus tomorrow and I'll shut this place down, which I could have done. They wrote checks. I don't know what's transpired here lately. I really don't. There's $1.4 million in the fund, rest home fund. I hear people here giving constant ideas about how it could be repaired and replaced and whatever. But I also want to tell you that in Ohio, there's only 4 counties with rest homes. And the reason for that is government does not do business well. If something can be done by private enterprise, that's the way it should be. I'm not sure that that's what's happened here, that the deterioration in the situation out there has caused this to become a decision to close. But I certainly appreciate the support from all the people that's come and addressed some of the issues. I had my mother and my mother-in-law out there, and she received wonderful care over the years. My mother was there about 3 years. And I can't complain one thing about the care during that time period. So what's transpired here lately, I don't know, but I'm concerned. I appreciate the concerns of the people of the county, and I don't have an answer for these guys. Hopefully they haven't resolved as to why they're doing what they're doing. I don't know. But once again, I want to say government sometimes deteriorates to the point that they're doing something for the public and it doesn't work well. And evidently that's where we're at here now. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Michelle Wallace?
I'm Michelle Wallace. I live here in Hardin County, and if there's an office in Hardin County that's fumbled the ball, it's going to be you guys. Where is the transparency? Executive session is not at a whim, right? Like, we've been to your meetings. Things were supposed to be different, right? We've been to your meetings, and anything that's important that needs to be known to the public is all executive session. There's no excuse for it. You know, what has happened with Hardin Hills is a tragedy, but what's going to happen with Grove Cemetery, right? The mausoleum and the church out there. People will support it. Are you just going to let those go, right? Where's that money? Why don't we have a land grant in Hardin County? Why do we still have the Corinthian? What's going to happen with Hardin Hills? Is it going to become another eyesore? Like, we had an opportunity to have a land grant, you guys let that go, right? So, and what's going to happen with Hardin Hills? Walhawk, their home is now immigrant housing. Is that what we have to look forward to? When are we gonna know what's gonna happen with these buildings? And when you guys fumble the ball, we pay the consequences, right? You guys, you're doing your job in secret, but we have the long-term consequences, and it ain't right. I call for a full audit of whatever your office, of your monies, an investigation of what really has been happening, what's gonna happen in the future that we don't even know about, that you guys have already decided on. You've already made your decisions, and we wanna step in and say, this is our community, and if you guys, if something needs help, if historical societies can come out and help the church at a Grove Cemetery, they're there. The help is there. Stop sitting on your hands and get out in the community and let us know what the hell's going on. If you guys are not, you do not have immunity from your actions, right? So if it's a matter of changing your policies and procedures and making sure that your salaries aren't too heavy for the work that you're actually doing for our community, those things need to be looked at. So I'm ashamed.
And our last signed-up speaker is Charles Van Dyne. Charlie's in the back. I'm going to take the mic for you. You can.
Members of the board, and, can you hear me?
Yes.
Members of the board and all of the people who are here in this hearing this morning, I would first like to thank the commissioners for opening this matter up for discussion to see what the thoughts of the people is when it comes to closing Hardin Hills. I do not come here today to be critical of the present board nor any of its predecessors, but I come here principally because of one thing that has concerned me. And I must say, I wish I could have heard the comments that were made here earlier today. But my hearing isn't worth a darn, and so I don't know what was said. Apparently, the majority of the people here today are not in favor of closing the hole. Now, I may be wrong, but I would imagine that was the sum and substance of what they said. As I said earlier, I am not critical of the present board because I am confident they are doing what they think is the best for Hardin County. It may not be good, but we have to take the good with the bad. What I am really concerned about and why I asked to be heard here today is maybe you have covered this. And if you have covered it, fine. I will have met the goal that I had set on what to say. And that is this. My concern is for the members that are in the county home at the present time. My question is this. Have arrangements been made by your board as to how they will be treated and where they will go for their continued living needs? My question is, do you, as of today, know, my understanding is it's going to close the end of July. Am I correct? Roger?
July 10th.
Pardon?
July 10th.
July 10. My question is, have provisions been made as of this time as to where the people who are there presently as patients, have you made provisions as to where they will go?
Thank you, Charlie. That's the 3 minutes.
That's the 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I will sit down, and I trust that you take into consideration what I'm saying. Because of this, we can't put those people out on the street. They must be cared for, and that's why I'm here.
That reached the end of the list of people that had indicated they want to speak. Is there anyone here that didn't sign the sheet originally and has changed their mind who would like to speak now? Okay. Would either of you from the Ombudsman program care to come up and address the group? Yeah, that'd be fine.
Thank you all. I'm an outsider. I live in Toledo, but I cover the 7 counties down here around Lima, which includes Hardin County. And I just want to make some observations of what I've heard today. I've heard, commissioners, that you run a really good home. That's what I've heard. Okay? I've heard from you all that they run a good home and that they take care of people. The governor and the director of aging had a nursing home task force to try to help us make better care across this state in the nursing homes. You guys haven't. And I'm humbled by that. Very rarely during closings, which we are involved in from the state ombudsman's office, do we have a community come together and say, hey, what can we do? I also heard today solutions, opportunities for the commissioners to say, hey, the folks that live in Hardin Hills are members of this community. They live in this county, and they are voting members. So that's another opportunity to say, those folks that live in nursing homes, 950 of them across the state, are members of the state of Ohio. They're voting members, and their voice matters. None of us are here today without the elders who went before us. None of us. They are royal. They are our royals. We don't live in Great Britain. We don't have a king and queen. We have the people that went before us. So I ask you, listen, take a second. Look at the opportunities that are here today for us to come together as a community and as a state to keep the folks in Hardin Hills. Thank you.
I want to give anyone an opportunity that has changed their mind to come up and speak if they so desire. And if hearing none, then we will adjourn this hearing. Thank you very much for coming.
When are you guys gonna talk to us?
Yeah.
When's that gonna happen? We need that. You guys cannot just walk away from this and say it closes July 10th and be done. This, come back. Listen, you all have 3 minutes. You all can have 3 minutes and you can put your name on the paper and you can get up there and you can use your 3 minutes.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that.
We will consider, we've all taken notes. We're going to consider all of your comments. And we will be making a public statement in
What about
in the
Q&A?
near future.
Come on, we need to
So
be able to
that was
have
not the
some
purpose of the
dialogue.
hearing today, but thank you all for coming today. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Where did they go?